FCS parents. Mr. Fortney here, Thursday Thoughts once again. And today I primarily want to talk about what we did last Friday night, which was our FCS Variety Show. Man, it was a good time, a lot of laughs, a lot of fun. But more importantly than the fun and the laughs, was the opportunity for the students to show off the gifts that God has blessed them with. Academics is why we're here. We're here to educate these kids and get them ready to move on beyond their basic education and eventually out into the real world, possibly go on to college, whatever God has called them to. But beyond that, being a Christian school, it's important to us here that we recognize and develop the special skills and abilities that God has given each one of these individuals. There is a ton of potential in each one of them, and we want to help them realize that potential. And Friday night, we got to see some of that. We got to see some of the skills, talents, and abilities that God has blessed these students with. We got to see those being utilized to bless others. Starting off with the worship team, they both started and ended the variety show, and I thought those kids did great. Many of them have obvious gifts in terms of music, and some of them just lack a little bit of confidence in being able to step out and really show those gifts and use those gifts to lead others in worship. Most of them thought that I was going to be playing with them on Friday night, and I think some of them were kind of counting on that fact. And when I told them I was not going to, gave some of them some minor heart attacks, I think. But then eventually they realized, hey, we're capable of doing this. And they stepped up like champions. They stepped up there. They did exactly what they needed to do. They sang the songs. Certain individuals led those songs. And some of them were not very comfortable in doing that. But they were given the opportunity, and they stepped up and they took advantage of that opportunity. And they were leading several hundred people in worship throughout the course of the night. And that was awesome to see. In fact, some of the parents had never really seen their kids perform in that way before, and that was great to see those parents blessed by the performance of their children and seeing the potential being realized in their kids. And then every single class, all the way from kindergarten to 12th grade, the acts were fantastic. The kindergartners, first graders and second graders with their singing and their costumes, the 3rd through 6th grade girls with their dance routine, the 3rd through 6th grade boys with their synchronized swimming, which was one of my favorites of the night. That was incredibly funny. Congratulations to that class. They just did a great job. Miss Whitcomb and Miss Viana organizing those boys into that synchronized swimming routine. That was just awesome. 7th and 8th graders with their magic show, that was great too. They had a lot of props, they had a lot of moving parts in their routine, but they did a great job of coming together and pulling that off. The 9th and 10th graders with their skit, again, very funny. They did a great job memorizing their lines and performing that skit. And of course the 11th, 12th graders with their slow motion Olympics. I'm still not sure where the slow motion came into that. We may spend the next few weeks trying to figure that out. But they did a great job too. By the way, the 11th and 12th graders came up with that entire skit themselves. They had no help from anybody else. It was completely them coming up with that. So I thought they did a pretty good job with that as well. And just overall, the spirit of the evening, all the kids coming together, doing their best, showing off their gifts and talents. And then as parents, I hope all of you had the opportunity to come on Friday night and check out the variety show. If you didn't, hopefully we'll get some of the people who videotaped the acts. We'll get some of those and throw them on our Facebook page if we can. I know Miss Viana took a lot of pictures. We'll try to get those up as well. But it was a fantastic night. And it's the type of night, quite honestly, that I think this school does very well. I think it's the type of thing we really want to do well moving forward, because it's not just about the academics. It's about showing the kids they can have a good time. They can have a good time without all bunch of worldly influences. It can still be a bunch of mostly biblical influences. We're talking about Christ most of the evening. It was a Christ-centered, family-centered, and yet they're having a lot of fun. People are having laughs and having a good time. And I think that's something we want to emulate and promote as we go forward. We're almost to the end of the year. We've got a lot of things coming up. Finals are next week for the high school students. And even for all the other kids, they're wrapping up all their lessons. They're getting all their academics tied up. So make sure you check in with your kids over the next couple weeks. Make sure they aren't feeling any anxiousness over finishing up the school year. Make sure you talk to them, find out where they're at emotionally and spiritually and maybe physically. They may be just worn out from the school year. So make sure you're connecting with your kids, making sure that they're in the right place spiritually and mentally as we move forward towards the end of the year. Like I said, finals coming up next week, so some of the high school students may be a little stressed out. I gave them their study guides for their Bible classes over the last couple days, so I know they've been thinking about their finals, they're preparing for their finals. And then after that, of course, we've got our trip to Discovery Kingdom, we've got our awards ceremonies, and then we've got graduations. So a lot taking place over the next couple weeks. And again, at any point, if you guys have any questions or concerns, feel free to contact us in the office. I'm more than happy to talk with you about anything you guys need to talk about. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of the week. Hope to see you guys at some of our school events as we close out this school year, and God bless.